Starting good. All right, looks like we're rolling. Give people a couple seconds to hop on. All right, go ahead and get started. All right, what's up, everybody? We back for another episode of Mental Radar. This is episode 9. It's called Black Entrepreneurship. So we got an amazing time for you today. We got a new special guest here. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Shawna. I'm an entrepreneur.
Okay. And once again, my name is Keith McLeod. As you know, I'm a life coach, CEO of Life Changes. And like I said, we're just going to be talking about some good things today, like we usually do. Chop it up, have a little bit of fun, and hopefully add some value to your life. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and get started. And, you know, I do want to start with Shawna actually sharing her story. She has a pretty amazing story, and it touched me. So you could go ahead and, you know, let everybody know a little bit about yourself or your story or how you started.
Sure. So I'm a single mom. I have 4 children. I started out, of course, on welfare and in homeless shelter after homeless shelter after homeless shelter. And it was just like I got to a point in my life where I just got tired of being sick and tired. So I decided to do better for me and my children. And it was a hard, long road, but now I have 4 for-profit businesses and 1 non-profit business, and I also have a full-time job working as a behavioral specialist in Baltimore City schools. So that's a little bit of my story.
Okay. Well, that's pretty awesome. What type of businesses do you have?
I have a convenience store. I have a tech and title business. I have a consulting business where I help other up-and-coming entrepreneurs start their businesses or manage their business. I have a thrift store, and I have a nonprofit business that's homeless shelters for women and children.
Oh, wow. So you're busy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, thanks for taking the time out to come join us. But, tell me a little bit about the business where you help people start their businesses. That's probably something that people want to hear about.
Yeah, so it's called Full Circle Confidence, and it's called Full Circle Confidence because it kind of goes off of Romans 8:28. All things work together for those who love the Lord. I'm not really religious, but I'm very spiritual. I feel like, I know that God is big in my life and the reason why I have everything that I have right now. So I started this business because when I opened my first business, no one would help me. Like, when I say no one, I mean no one. It was like in the urban community, people, it's like they don't want to help. It's like, no, I don't want you to be where I am just in case you get better than I am.
Right.
So I decided to be the support system that I didn't have.
Gotcha.
And then, it was other companies that wanted like $4,500 just for a seminar
wow.
to show you how to start an LLC or show you how to open up a nonprofit business. So I decided to make my prices a little lower and just help people and be the support that I didn't have. Even if they only have, $75 just for a consultation, I'm still going to sit down with you, help you get your goals together. I'm also a certified life coach. So I sit down with them and just help them get their goals together, get a plan, things like that.
Okay, cool. And for everybody joining in, if anybody wants to ask any questions, feel free to hop on. Ask on Instagram. I can see your questions, so just let us know if you want to say anything. But that's amazing. It's kind of similar to what I'm doing. A branch of my coaching business is I do kind of want to help Black people because I know there's kind of a stigma, which we'll talk about later, about customer service and things of that nature in our Black community. But, congratulations on that. Like, that's a really big thing, and I'm really proud that someone took the time to really just help us out in this community because we definitely need that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. I mean, now, I know you spoke about not having any support. Like, did you have any support at all when you started, or was it just like...
My parents are a big support system for me, but when you older and you have kids, you don't always want to go back to mommy and daddy,
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
That's why I say I didn't really have support because it was my choice not to rely on mommy and daddy forever.
Okay. Cool. So, what would you say is like being an entrepreneur? Like, what would you say to anybody aspiring to go down that long road?
The one thing I do say to everyone that comes to me and asks me that same question is they always think, oh, I'm going to become a boss, I'm going to become an entrepreneur, and I'm going to have to work less. No. You work 10 times harder 10 times harder. And it's hard, it's really hard, but the end result is so worth it. Like, it's so worth it. It's worth the sweat. Because when you work a 9 to 5, you work hard, you're tired, and everything you do as an entrepreneur, you do as an employee. Right. Except you're building something for yourself as an entrepreneur. So I just try to tell people, like, it's more sweat, it's more tears, but it's definitely worth it.
Okay. And how long have you been, like, working as an entrepreneur?
6 years now.
6 years, okay.
Yeah, 6 years.
What year would you say it became a little bit easier?
Honestly, this is just my opinion. I don't think it becomes easier.
You know? Okay.
No, because I feel like new levels, new devils. Meaning, when you're on the bottom level, you know, you have bills to match that level, and every level you go up, you have more bills.
Right.
So I just feel like it's the same hustle, it's the same exhaustion. I mean, you do want to get to a place where you're getting residual income and you're not hustling all the time, but I just feel like in my 6th year, I'm not there yet. Okay. I'm just honest.
Okay, well, yeah, I appreciate that. You know, that's, you know, because a lot of people, they'll see the Instagram, especially in this new age, they'll see the Instagram and they'll look at it and they'll think, oh, boom, overnight, I'm supposed to have success. Like, I start the business in January, and March I'm making 10 figures a month. When that's not necessarily the case, you know? Like, it definitely takes time, it takes blood, it takes tears, you know? Me, myself, most of you guys probably know my story. I talked about it a lot in my other episodes, but I'm actually an entrepreneur as well. And, you know, my first business was, I actually had a car dealership. And, you know, especially in that industry, people look at you, they're like, oh, man, you're getting all the money, but nah. I mean, we were making money, and it was a good time, and everything did get better as we kept going, but they don't talk about the overhead. They don't talk about, like, I definitely experienced racism dealing with the MBA because, you know, me and my partner, we were young, and it's a highly regulated industry when you're selling vehicles. So we just dealt with a lot of people just doing things, going to the NBA, knowing that they were going to win. It didn't matter what we had to say, you know? And it's a lot, you know? Yeah, I'm sure. And I mean, it's definitely worth it. And a lot of people are moving towards digital businesses just to avoid things like that, to kind of get into unregulated industries, which, you know, I do support. But, you know, that's why I wanted to have you on, to talk about the things you go through on a daily basis, being in like a traditional business setting. So, I mean, tell me a little bit about the convenience store. Like, how does that go?
So, now, all my new entrepreneurs, first thing I'm going to say is go over your contract before you sign it. Absolutely. Please go over your contract, because when I first got my convenience store, I did not. I went over it, but I took their word for it. I'm a very honest person. Not everybody in this world is honest. Absolutely. So that's my first point of advice. Go over your contract. Get a lawyer to look over it, because it's people out here that just want to get over on you. That's number one. As far as convenience stores and stores in general, because I've had a couple of stores, the biggest struggle with a store is your inventory. Okay. That's the biggest struggle. And of course your area and your customers. I'm in a I'm more urban area, Bel Air Road, Bel Air and Edison. So, you know, it's a lot of black people in that area. It's different race, but it's more predominantly black people. Right. And there's a lot of competition over there. Yeah. So, inventory and prices, and because you're black owned, they expect when they come in here, you're supposed to lower your prices. Like when you go to Walmart, you can't be like, oh, what? $150? Can I get this on $125? Right. But because you're black owned, they automatically assume like, oh, when I'm going here, they're gonna give me a deal. So that's another struggle. Of course, you got the attitudes and all of that stuff.
So yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. So, do you feel like that affects how you provide customer service, like dealing with people asking ridiculous questions like that, or?
My thing is killing with kindness. Honestly, some people now, you really can't kill with kindness. Like, right. We've had a couple of those incidents, but I feel like every area is different, because I've had different stores in different areas of Baltimore. I always have all my businesses in the city. Okay. But I just feel like it just depends on, first of all, the person in there, because I don't work the store myself. Okay. I have people in there working the store. Gotcha. So, you know, we have the bulletproof glass and everything, and then behind the door. So it just depends, honestly. It really just depends.
Okay. And what would you say is your favorite business? Like, probably the nonprofit, I would assume?
Yes. Yes. And like I said, I work at the schools during the day. I'm at an elementary school right now, Park Heights Academy, and that's a part of. I mean, I'm contracted through my nonprofit to the school, but it's just like it's my passion, it's my purpose, because I get I don't know how to explain it. It's just like helping these families. Like, you would not think from pre-K to 5th grade go through the things that they go through. Like, you know, as far as like being touched and like it's all types of things that these families go through, and I love it. I love helping them. I love giving them wisdom and having sessions with the moms and just showing them that they're not alone. Like, my thing is, I'm hope. That's what I feel like I'm put on this earth to be, is hope, because I came from where they are now,
right.
Being on welfare, not having enough money to feed my kids, sometimes not eating at all because I gotta feed my kids,
right.
Walking, not having a car, you know, getting put out of place. But like, I've been there, and now I live in a $400,000 house, living in, you know. So it's like, I'm hope. I'm showing you that if I can do it with all the stuff I've been through, I know you can do it.
That's very powerful. So you find that you deal with a lot of kids that deal with adult issues?
Yes. And you would never think.
Yeah.
You would never think. Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy out here. So to change it a little bit, so do you feel that social media or anything like that impacts your business in any way?
Yes. Social media is a big part of being an entrepreneur. Me personally, I'd rather just hire somebody to do it. It's because that's a job in itself.
Yes,
you know that. Like, yes, like, you have to be consistent, and I'm not really consistent on social media. I'm not. You have to be consistent. You have to, you know, do everything constantly, and that's a job in itself. But yes, it is a big part of being an entrepreneur these days. Yeah.
Gotcha. So now the money question: when you deal with pretty much any of your traditional businesses, like, do you experience a lot of racism, or?
My landlords are racist. Like, to the store, they are. I'm sorry. I've had this man tell me, I've been in business 25 years, and you can't tell me anything. And he just kept over talking me. And I'm like, sir, what I'm trying to tell you is the problem I'm having is because of your workers. And then he got quiet. It's like, it's not just racism. It's also being a woman.
That was my next question.
I'm a black woman that's an entrepreneur. Right. That's two struggles in one.
Right.
Because, you know, this is a man's world in business. Right. So we have to work a little bit harder. We can't, you know, they want to smack us in the butt, figuratively speaking. You know, like, it's not, they don't take us serious. So you have to come in and you have to be serious. Certain meetings that I'm in, oh, you're pretty. I'm not here to be pretty. Right. Like, I'm here, let's talk about this, and let's talk about why you did this, and if you're going to get fired or not. Like, it's hard, but it can be done. I'm proof that it can be done.
Absolutely. Now, I know you said that you're still building and you're still in the process of getting where you want to be. Mm-hmm. How long would you say it took before it at least became like you were breaking even and moving towards profitable?
I was very blessed. My first business, I made a lot of money in my first business, and I was very blessed. But what people don't tell you is you have to get out of certain mentalities. When I was in my first business, I had horrible money management. Horrible. When I tell you I had like $5,000 a month on Amazon, but it was when you come from nothing and you get all this money, it's like, yeah. What am I doing? Like, I'm buy this, I'm buy my son this, I'm doing this, you know, you just go crazy with spending. Like, it's a lot of stuff that people don't tell you about that comes with being an entrepreneur. You know, budgeting, managing money, making sure you have at least 6 months of your overhead saved up for a rainy day. Right. Like, it's a lot of stuff people don't talk about. They just talk about, yeah, I'm making this much money. What about the overhead? Right. What about the rainy day money? Right. You know, they don't talk about that stuff.
And I'm so glad you said that. Like, I kind of want to take a moment to talk about that. Like, just the mentality of being an entrepreneur, like, it really is a shift in your mindset. You can't walk in with a worker's mentality. You can't walk in like you're going to get paid every 2 weeks. You can't blow the money like, oh, it's coming right back, because it's not coming right back. Like, these are paying customers. And who's to say that customer is going to come back? What if somebody lowers their rates? What if that customer moves there's plenty of things that can happen that can change the customer's mind or provoke you to not have that customer anymore. So nothing is guaranteed, especially in the type of businesses that you're doing.
Yep.
So you definitely have to be on top of how you think about it. And really, if you're not, maximizing your thought process and you're not changing your thoughts, you will end up broke.
Yep.
Because you gotta be thinking, real quick, because you gotta think about just, like you said, overhead and accidents, insurance, just things you didn't know, because it's always a learning process. Like every day, I know when I started being an entrepreneur, like I remember when we got the letter from Merlin, like, oh, you gotta post these things in the break room. That just tell you, hey, if you don't have this in the break room, your employee can see you. So it's just little things, like you don't know what you don't know. And like you said, it's so important to seek out mentorship. And that's why I'm proud about your business, because it's little things that you don't know that can really just take you out the game with the quickness.
Yes.
Very
quick.
Yeah. So I mean, it's super important. Like, and if I would give any piece of advice from my experience, definitely do your research on your industry and understand that people buy from people that they know, trust, and like. So you have to present yourself. You have to be better than the competition, especially being that, we are minorities. We got to make sure that we're better than our competition in every way, because we already starting 3 steps behind. But also, we starting without the knowledge. So, whenever you find somebody that's willing to teach you, you got to take that information. Like, I don't like the new mindset of people just saying, like, oh, I'll do it myself, or it's just me, or I don't need. No, you definitely need a team.
Yeah.
You can't do it alone, right? Yeah, it's always necessary to have a team. And you always need like a support system once you find it. Like, you got to find the right people that fit. And you got to just maximize your efforts, work together, like you said, on spiritual as well. Focus on one goal, get everybody on board with that, and watch it multiply. But it's so much more than just finding a product and selling it, like, to really be a successful entrepreneur. Yeah. But I mean, did you have any, I know I already asked you advice, but like, what would be, I guess, a tidbit you would give to someone that's already an entrepreneur and not getting the results that they want at this time?
Like you said, look into the industry that the business you're trying to open, but also like if it's something concerning licenses, it's a lot, especially with Maryland, it's a lot of ways they will shut you down. Like if you have a tobacco license, a health license, like health inspection, the type of business you're doing, you could get shut down for so much stuff. So that's great advice. Like definitely get with someone. It's cool to get online and research things, but it's better to find someone that's in the same industry as you, that's been through the ropes already, that can tell you, this is what you do, this is how you do it, this is how you don't do it, just to help you, be a couple steps ahead, because Maryland, they like to shut you down quick.
Yeah, they do. I ain't gonna front, they definitely like to do that. But so I do want to kind of switch energy a little bit, because I know we're talking a lot about kind of the negative aspects of entrepreneurship. I do want to talk about, like, there is a reward, from doing it. Like, it feels good to be able to come into a place that's your own. In the struggle, there's beauty in the struggle. Like J. Cole said, beauty in the struggle, ugliness in the success. But, that process, although it's difficult, it really makes you a stronger person, and it prepares you for life lessons, because being an entrepreneur is no different than if you're a student getting through school, dealing with all the things that you have to go and do. If you're at work trying to climb the corporate ladder, it's the same thing. But to me, it's just a better end result, because ultimately, like you said, I know you're 6 years in, but there will come that day where it's like, okay, the plan is ready, the people are in place, the right people are doing what I need them to do. Now I can not relax, but whatever it is you choose to do. If you want to start another business, or improve it, or however you want to move. Like, there does come a point in the process where you do not necessarily complete it, but you overcome the challenges, and now you are winning. Because honestly, that's the best way to win in life. And I mean, it's almost also as well, like, being an entrepreneur, I feel like it's connected to being an investor. Like, I don't know if you ever read the Rich Dad book, but the cash flow quadrants.
Third time I heard that, I'm going to read it.
But you got to make sure you're in the right quadrants. And if you guys haven't read that, check out Rich Dad, Poor Dad. But cash flow quadrants are super important. And, there's two sides to it. There's being an employee, then there's being self-employed. Then there's being a business owner, and then there's being an investor. So when you're an employee and you're self-employed, you know, you're still making money, especially self-employed. Like, let's say you're a plumber. You know, you're self-employed and you'll make a lot of money in your craft. But what happens if you get sick? What happens if something happens in your family? You got to fly away to California or whatever the case may be. Now you're in the hole. Now you might lose contracts that you already had to other plumbers. Which is right. I mean, business is business, you know. The work's got to get done. And nobody's trying to wait to get that toilet unplugged, you know. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're on that side of the quadrant, then you definitely got to get to this side of the quadrant. Because if you're a business owner, now there's people working for you. Like I said, I'm sure your store's open right now, but you're here talking to me, you know, helping people. So, you know, that's being a business owner. So that money's going to come regardless. Now, you still got to manage it, but, you know, being a business owner is important. The other quadrant is being an investor. Now, that's making your money work for you, and that's really what they don't teach us. That part is super duper important because, you know, a lot of people that I meet, they feel like, well, okay, I want to get my savings to $50,000. No! You don't want to get your savings to $50,000. You want to get it to, like you said, 6 months of all of your expenses, or whatever you're comfortable with. Some people want 12 months. Like, that's up to you. That's a personal decision, but at least 6. And you want to have that amount of money put away for a rainy day. Every excess dollar needs to be working for you. So you want to invest that into things that's going to bring back revenue. And there's a million ways to make money. So just find out what you're passionate about, what you love to do, and you invest your money in that and let it make money for you. So, you got anything you want to add to that? Or?
No, you did great. That was great.
Yeah, but, you know, that's why I just wanted to provide a little bit of value about, you know, the cash flow project since we are talking about black business. And, yeah, I definitely want to thank you for coming out. Tell people a little bit, you know, we're going to wrap it up soon, but just tell people a little bit about, like, so if they want to support you, where they can find your stuff.
If you need help opening a business, it's fullcircleconfidence.com. My nonprofit website is godsvisioncorp.info. So that's if you want to do donations. You know, all the donations that come in, we put them into our thrift store, and all the funds goes back into the homeless shelters for women and children. The convenience store is 3400 Bel Air Road. Come out and support if you can. Black owned.
Absolutely.
That's about it.
Okay. Well, like I said, you guys, thanks for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I know people probably want to go to the homecoming in Baltimore. So it's Morgan Homecoming, so shout out to the HBUs. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Like y'all know, definitely follow. What's your Instagram so people follow you?
Full Circle Confidence is one of them, and one of them is ZNS Convenience.
Okay. And yeah, for me, it's life_changers_LLC. That's a business page. Obviously, you know, my personal page if you're watching this live. And check out our YouTube. You can subscribe to that. It's Life Changers. We'll get all of the Life Changers LLC. I'm sorry. We'll get everything uploaded on there. And yeah, thank you guys for checking it out. We'll be back soon. I'm gonna make this kind of like a series. So this is kind of part 1 to my Black Entrepreneurship. So I'm gonna get some other entrepreneurs on. We'll provide some more value in this area. But thank you guys for checking us out, and I'll talk to you soon.